content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper Goren Holm or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
Boom! We are live. How's it going, guys? This is What the Block, episode 10. Actually, while that thing was playing, I rediscovered this. I don't know if we ever used this, but we're going to do it right now.
Ooh, title sponsor.
So is it
nice.
how crazy is it? Is it like going crazy, like as fast as I'm clicking?
It's flickering. Yeah, it's flickering.
Wow. This is amazing.
It's funny because I also have that preset for blockchain and booze in case we have a special moment that we just hit to hammer click, LunarCRUSH, LunarCRUSH, LunarCRUSH.
I feel like I won something. That's amazing.
You did. So welcome everyone. I do this every week, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and hang with a different awesome person from the blockchain space. And this time we grabbed Jon from LunarCRUSH to hang with us because it's been a crazy week in the markets. But also, we've had a crazy week at DGH. Adam produced the Security Token Summit yesterday. That was awesome, and so we're here live. Jon, how are you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing so good today, Alon. Thanks for having me. I'm honored to make episode 10.
Yeah, number 10.
Yes,
it's exciting, actually. Because I'm not here, let's see if I can show it or do
Jon,
it.
you guys were episode 1 too, right?
Episode number 1.
Weren't they on the first episode?
You know how many live streams we've done? We've tested different ones. No, we actually had Rivet, because Rivet was launching something that week. I was just trying to jump between these things. There we go. See this?
I love that, man. And you're pointing in the right direction today, dude. You are decked out. I like it. Wow.
You know what? I was
Rumor
originally going to put the tack in the middle. See, there's a little dot in the middle here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the tack was really in the middle, and I was going to switch it depending on how the markets were that day. And then I just decided, screw it. It's always pointing up and to the right. I mean, this is it.
Zoom out.
That's
Someone's
right.
always bullish on something. Someone's bullish on something at all times. Yep.
Alon, rumor has it you've never taken off that shirt.
You know what? If you play really close attention, you know what's really funny? Actually, no, I'm not gonna TMI. But I have 2 of these. One of them is the old school logo that's more like grayed out, and this is the as my daughter calls it, the rainbow logo, because that's her favorite. So I have that. Sometimes I wear the hat too, but the hat is too big for my weirdly small head, so I just look like a little kid wearing his dad's hat, so I only wear it to the park and stuff like that.
I've got the same problem, Alon. I think we're going to do some fitted ones, some new ones with different sizes. We'll get you guys some for sure.
All right.
I need some.
Definitely.
I can't wait. So the markets have been crazy. Hey, if anybody is watching, by the way, thank you, anonymous LinkedIn user who has their privacy set correctly, probably. If you're watching on LA Blockchain Summit LinkedIn, or on LA Blockchain Summit YouTube, or on Periscope on the LunarCRUSH, or my account, or anything like that, go to, oh, that's awesome. Hold up. So I add that. I just saw that down below. Jon's sharing his screen. So if you're watching live on Periscope or wherever, comment, ask us questions, and we will try to get to your questions live. Otherwise, Adam and I will bug Jon, ask him for stuff, and we'll have some fun.
Yes,
so Jon, I went on to LunarCRUSH this morning. I've got it open in another tab. It's been a wild few days in the market. I didn't get to fully appreciate the craziness of yesterday because we were watching the Security Token Summit, but you want to give us a little recap of the week?
Well, it's been wild. It's been super wild. I mean, I kind of say, like, let's zoom out past just this week and let's look at this year, right? And like, if you've been in this year, there are a boatload of millionaires in crypto right now that weren't a millionaire at the beginning of the year, right? A lot of that money hasn't cashed out. A lot of that money is in, people are in a different place that have been in this market for more than 3 or 6 months right now. And so I think when you see these moves down, it's not so much, it's almost like it's time to take opportunities versus it's time to exit the markets. And I think one of the things that we've seen, let me share my screen here. There's something I'd really like to show you guys.
I think you turned off your screen share thing, so I think you might have to hit it back on.
Let me fix that.
All right. Oh, there we go.
I want to show you, I'll cover a few coins if you guys want, but like,
yeah,
I want to show you guys Tether, the most exciting coin in the market, Tether.
Actually, that was the conversation you had with Tim Draper the other day, right?
It was. And what I said to Tim exactly happened again. And this is, I don't know the exact number. This has happened maybe 7 or 8 times this year, the same exact pattern. And so we've got this metric that we call alt rank, probably my favorite metric in all of crypto to look at. I look at a lot of things, but the reason I like it so much is because, Tether on its own, if you're looking at market activity, is rather boring, right? You're looking at, is it 99 cents or is it $1.01? And like, what's more interesting with Tether is the volumes. But when you wrap social activity on top of Tether, you get some really interesting things. So for one, when do you think everyone's talking about Tether? When the market's mooning, when it's going straight up, or when it's falling?
Down.
Right.
Probably down.
And so, yeah. And so when you see the markets fall, it feels painful, right? Crypto does not have, when we say that it's a downtrend, it's not when crypto, the market moves down 3%, 4%, or even 10%. It's not painful enough to really indicate a reversal. And so what we've seen, the pattern that we keep seeing, and you can see it here, and when we look at, like, alt rank is an inverse metric where it's trying, if something's number one, it's the strongest coin in the market from a social and a market perspective, trading perspective. And so what we saw yesterday at, we saw Tether hit a 2 alt rank out of 2,051 coins that qualify for it. So basically out of the top 2,051 coins in the market, it hit 2. And what we've noticed is, in fact, we've seen Binance USD, we've seen Tether, and we see DAI. Those typically have the top 3 social activities for stablecoins. And we saw all 3 of them in the top 10 alt rank yesterday at the same time. And when we've seen this pattern, we've seen market bottoms. It is a huge buy signal. And it's happened again and again and again. So every single time we've seen Tether fall to like a low rank, it sometimes even happens a lot before the market has fallen, because people are starting to talk and the sentiment's changing. So it's interesting. It's like this, aside from looking specifically at sentiment, when you like merge these metrics together, it's really telling you how people are feeling. So really fascinating. And look what's happened since. So Tether's now way up here. It has an alt rank of 263, and we've seen the market come up a lot over the last 12 hours, basically.
So essentially what you're saying, it's when market's down, people are moving into Tether, talking about it, and like the moment you see sort of Tether hit peak, you know that things are going to, probably reverse back.
Yeah, and considering that we have, just looking at the weekly, we have this breakout that's now saying, yeah, the market's way more bullish. Tether's been pushed way down. No one wants to talk about it anymore. No one's talking about exiting. No one's talking about holding Tether, holding stable coins until the market turns around. Those conversations have waned. They've gone to the side.
That's
so
crazy.
It's exciting. It is
Interesting.
crazy.
I've gotta distract us for one quick sec, because I have my computer on do not. Actually, I didn't set it to do not disturb, so I don't know how I didn't miss this. But on my phone, I just looked down because I was going to see all the alerts from Twitter and stuff, and I got a missed call. Never had this before, but you're on the stream and now I got it. I don't know. I had a missed call from U.S. government. Look at this. Here, let's see if it can show up there. Missed call, U.S. government. I'm not making it up. Oh, it turned off.
Wait, Wait, why do you have the contact saved as the U.S. government?
Not, you know how like sometimes, like the contacts will be pre-filled in like for phishing scams and things. I'm assuming it's a scam. I'm assuming it's not actually the U.S. government.
Ballsy.
You know, John, you're
you're revealing some shit, man.
You can't get rid of
so
I agree.
I want to add some more data to that. Alon, can you share my screen really quick? It's a tweet that I came across from Brad Michelson of eToro, and he's basically put up this chart. And I've seen this before, but I don't remember who I saw it first. But I'll reference Brad. But March is historically an awful month for Bitcoin. Don't forget to zoom out. So how does this narrative with what's happening with Tether kind of counteract with what's happening to Bitcoin in March? What do you think? Or is there any correlation?
I mean, we could correlations are a tough thing to really nail down. That takes a lot of time to think through between one thing versus another. But I just think you have to look at where we're at. I mean, you can look at the chart of a lot of different coins. Take Polkadot, take Anchor, take Zilliqa, take even Tezos is performing great. Take all of these, and if there's no breather, there's no resistance. Like we're waiting for a humongous 70-80% dump if we never have any breathers. So this is incredibly healthy what we're seeing, and I mean, look, like we're all seeing it. We're all seeing the people that have never talked about crypto are now talking about crypto. We're seeing the community on any given day is up like 300 to 500% versus this time last year. And I think it's like a lot of new people. So even looking at historical data like that, I would argue that the correlations are really difficult, because let's put it this way. If I asked you a year ago, hey, tell me the profile of someone in crypto, right? And then if I told you today, you'd be talking to Mark Cuban about NFTs.
Yeah.
You think I was crazy, maybe, right? And look at, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, brothers, sisters, friends from high school and junior high are asking about crypto now.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
And so this profiling, Lindsay Lohan, right? Like this profiling is now the whole world. And so to say that there's a correlation, I'd say like the correlations apply to a very small segment of the population. And now that same data applies to the population. So and that population's expanding so much, but it's still small. It's still small. Like when I say on a daily basis that we collect 1 million tweets that relate to crypto, and we collect a lot. Of course we miss some, right? Of course there's some things that are not using any keywords or whatever, but in general, we should be collecting 50 million tweets a day if it's the whole world in crypto. So, or much more, right? So we're early still, but it's also just really interesting. It's like to look at this data over time, it's not really significant in a way. It's a great past thing to look at, but it doesn't really indicate where we're going.
Well, I was saying that the other day. I mean, I think I said it yesterday with the because everybody's talking about alternative investments and security tokens, and everybody was talking about how secondaries are really, really crazy right now. And essentially what that means to everybody listening is that like companies that are pre-IPO, people who are wealthy and who are allowed to participate have been going to places like Shares Post and Second Market and all these tools and trying to buy up those shares. And they've been doing that for a few years, but it's been heating up and heating up and heating up because about 20 years ago, the average company, or I think Dara shared that information yesterday, Dara Albright, was like 25 years ago, I think the average company going public was worth like $300 million, right? Now the average company that goes public is in the tens of billions of dollars. And so the public used to be able to participate from when the company was worth 300 million to hopefully worth billions and trillions, right? Or not trillions back then, but now there's companies in the trillions. So like, talk about inflation, by the way, but let's not even go there. Or monopolies, however you want to look at it. But if that happened back then, now the only people who could participate, because they made it such a pain in the ass and unnecessary to go public, so they just went, okay, who captures that value between the 300 million to the billions? And that's accredited investors only. Like basically people who are financial institutions or at least millionaires. And so, talking about that, and going back to what we're talking about now is just that the average person can't participate. But this Wall Street stuff is happening. The Wall Street bets stuff is happening, and people want to. So now all of a sudden, Robinhood announced, I think it was yesterday, that they plan on making pre-IPO deals available to their customers. And same with SoFi is actually doing it faster, I think. But really, the whole thing is they're having to create these extra mechanisms and bells and whistles to allow us to participate. And so, this whole space, I think, is going to change and evolve. And going back to the original actual point is we're so early thinking that DeFi, for example, has tens of billions total locked value and all that, when at the same time, the alternative space has trillions. It's like $7 or $8 trillion a year in the United States alone are going into those alternatives, the ones that we're not allowed to participate in.
So really quick, share my screen again. Another interesting point I came across. So Camila Rousseau, she's the founder of the Defiant. Okay, an amazing site to discover all things DeFi related. Basically, she was looking up on the Wall Street Journal decentralized finance, and only 2 results came up. Right, considering the behemoth that the Wall Street Journal is, they're barely touching the surface on decentralized finance, right? And considering we're so deep into the space and we hear these keywords multiple times per day, and then when we zoom out and we look at all these major mainstream publications, they're barely talking about this stuff. It's literally a sliver, like you said.
Well, it's two things. This is why LunarCRUSH exists, by the way. But I want to say, before we go into why LunarCRUSH is so important in this sense, I want to say why the Wall Street Journal is so not important. People know the name, the Wall Street Journal, right? Like, the average person has heard of the newspaper, and maybe 1 out of 100 people we might know in the finance space is a subscriber to the actual physical paper, right? But some of them subscribe to it, some of them don't. But even 10 years ago, my company had a write-up in the Wall Street Journal the same day that my company had a write-up in SoCalTech.com. And SoCalTech.com, if you're a nerdy Southern California-based techie, you know what it is, and you might look at it. And I do, and some people do, but nobody knows it compared to the Wall Street Journal, right? But we're nerds, and we track analytics and where things come from. And the article in the Wall Street Journal brought us 1/10 the amount of traffic to our website that SoCalTech.com brought us. And this was 10 years ago. And do you think the Wall Street Journal has more readers today or less? And do you think they're more important today or less important? I would argue they're much less important to the mainstream. Now, LunarCRUSH, John can jump into this, but the whole point is that, like, mainstream media only talks about 2 or 3 of these tokens in our space, right? And even the crypto media only talk about the top 10, 15, 20 maybe, right?
So, yeah, one of the things that's interesting about this discussion is, like, so Adam brought up Wall Street Journal mentioning DeFi. That's a topic. Are they talking about balancer pools? Are they talking about, what about Uniswap? No. What about V3 Uniswap? No. Or Sushi? No. Sushi had a really great lending announcement this morning. I thought it was awesome.
What was their announcement?
Like, you can lending within SushiSwap.
Okay.
A whole new thing.
Oh, cool.
It actually looks really, really interesting. Man, like, that's like Google and Apple competing. Like, love it. Love the competition in the DeFi space. Like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And the total value locked, I mean, to watch the chart of how much money's coming in is huge. But look, media there's a couple issues with this. Like, one, like crypto doesn't move at the speed of curation necessarily like that. Like, to just think of, like, I'll talk about, like, say, Uniswap V3 coming out. It's one thing when the company itself, like with the organization of Uniswap, announces something, right? And they post it out there, it goes onto Medium, it goes onto Twitter, maybe someone working in the team announces it even first. Like, there's all these things, right? It's another thing to hire a writer, write an article, get a proper header image, get proper SEO tags in there, load it to a staging site so that it can be approved by your team before it then publishes out. And even, you know, if you're looking at even just in the scenario of, let's say they did cover these things, let's say they did, and they're not, but let's say they did, it's still old. It's still late.
Yeah.
And then layer another piece on top of it. Layer the fact that, like, we are in the era of the greatest business model disruption ever in history. Like, and so what is their business model? Their business model is to swipe a credit card. Their business model is not to reward users. Their business model is not token-based, decentralized in any manner. There's no decentralized policing of anything. It's total central control over content. And even, like, I'm going to pick on crypto news sites as well at the same time. They have the same model, and they build tools with monthly subscription fees. Those days are over. Those days have to stop. Like, those days of you can't swipe a monthly credit card and then go, I'm crypto native. I'm crypto first. I thought about the proper business model going forward. That's old. Anyone can hook up Stripe. Any startup can hook up Stripe. I mean, you're great. You're making Stripe rich, but there's zero competitive advantage to a monthly subscription. And that's the other part. And then on top of that, like, Wall Street Journal's got these paywalls. I think like other magazine type sites
God,
do
I
too.
hate
But,
them
like,
so much.
and then you don't even go. Like, it's
Yeah.
not worth that. And
Yeah.
so then what do they do if they don't do that? They just serve
$1
you
for 12 months.
Yeah.
but like, if you're not going to pay the $1, we're still going to serve you a bunch of really crappy banner ads.
Yeah.
And so I hate, like, that ad model has become the standard. No human has ever liked an ad model on any website ever.
Well, look at Decrypt. Decrypt just launched their Decrypt token, and it basically rewards users. Yeah, it rewards users for reading, for sharing, for liking, and they accumulate tokens per interaction, however they calculate that metric, right, and distribute whatever. But then those tokens can be used throughout the Decrypt ecosystem, right?
Yep.
So it encourages readership, it encourages interaction, and I think the token is public. Don't take my word for it. So it could also introduce revenue to some extent. You know,
Sure.
so it's a completely different way of looking at it.
Yeah, I think that's the future of every company in the world, and I think we're kind of at this point of, like, yes, that's the future, but, like, that this becomes a tremendous UX issue and gamification issue. Like, how do you solve all of that and build that ecosystem so you're not just giving tokens out that everyone's dumping? You actually are creating that value and creating a signal saying, hey, there's even more value coming. You're going to want to hang on to that. And so I think there's this is a challenge for a lot of people to even, like from a UX standpoint, to even flow out and to engineer it and to think that through, because it's so easy to just hook up Stripe and post some banner ads to your site. You'll set up a Google, AdWords account or whatever, and AdSense, and you'll just throw some banners up there, and look, you have revenue. It's dead. It's just dead.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not...
you're, going back to your original, beginning of the conversation too. You're basically, you've created a product of selling old news, right? And so then you have to also play the types of games that the old media style people play, right? If you have to be a subscriber to get something into your inbox, you essentially are also signing up to receive old news. You're paying for old news because somebody has to write it. Like you said, even the fastest writers have to write something about it and get it out there. And we see, people always give crap to some of the crypto media places because they, like, some of their news shit is reported, like, so quickly because they're trying to get out there as fast as they can. But there's better ways to see the signals, right? Like through the noise.
Yes. Hence LunarCRUSH.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh boy. Love it. I to expose the logo too. There we go. One thing we do right now, I mean, we're going to go very, very far with this, but, like, as an example, like, user signs up on lunarcrush.com, which, by the way, everyone that's listening should do, but it's free. Go ahead. But on the dashboard, we actually exposed just almost, this was like a proof of concept for us, and we wanted to perfect what we were doing before we implement something bigger. But like, we actually collect all of the news, and we can tell you based upon the number of shared links. We collect every shared link off of every single post that we ever collect, all of them, and we classify them. We spider those links. We look for keywords. We look for coins. We look for sentiment. We look for lots of things. But let's say that there's like 20 news sites that have the same news article about Elon saying, "Do not DeFi," or whatever he said yesterday. And you know what they're doing? A lot of those news articles, they'll call it news. They embed his tweet. They go, "Hey, 2 hours ago, Elon Musk tweeted this, and here was the responses." And they tweet all the response. Like it's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, here's some other articles you should read."
Yeah.
And so the majority of the news sites look just exactly like that. But we track. Let's say that there's 20 sites talking about the same thing. We'll track which one has the most shared links across the most shared posts, which one's the most relevant to that topic, and which one has the most engagement wrapped around it. So we can tell you, even though 20 have the same article, we can tell you which site had which one is really what the community is voting with their time, which one is the best for the community. Yeah.
So let me ask you, John, how do you guys actually differentiate from bots sharing, commenting, liking? Is there any real way to do that?
A lot of times manually no. So that's where we use machine learning to understand that. And so we've gotten very, very good at detecting spam. It just so happens some of the patterns account for, like, of course, we're never going to get it all. No one's going to get all spam. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But we look for patterns. And so there's a lot of very consistent patterns. Like, for example, an account with 0 followers that's posting a lot. An account that's using 15 tickers and 10 hashtags and 35 emojis. An account that all they ever keep doing is posting a GIF back with nothing, like all the time.
Yeah.
And so there's some simple patterns, and then there's some more complicated things. But a lot of it is looking deeper than just one tweet, and it's looking at really patterns of that account. And so a lot of that stuff it's tricky. This is never done, but we built a system where we've trained what to look for, and then the system looks for it. And then every single tweet that comes in, or Reddit post even, or Medium blog or YouTube video, we are looking and classifying every single one that's brought in, and it's looking at sentiment, and it's looking at spam, and it's looking in the feed itself, the comments in it, and it's looking at those accounts. So it's complicated, but it works.
Nice. No, very cool.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke. I was like, so if it hits up LunarCRUSH bot like 18 times a day, it asks it similar questions, which might resemble my account.
We need to create a leaderboard for who uses LunarCRUSH bot. I think a lot of people on top. Yeah, it's
hey, amazing. Yeah. Where's the influencer, the LunarCRUSH influencer page for interactions with the LunarCRUSH bot? Who are the top influencers?
I think we need you to run our product team, Alon. That's it. I'm done.
I think it's both would be so much fun, but a terrible idea for the rest of the community. I'd be like, here's what we need. And it would be like really, really catered specific alerts just for me, which, by the way, you guys launched alerts. So now I get texts, speaking of text, from LunarCRUSH bot all the time, who I've named in my phone Brobot. But
I love it.
I get alerts
very SoCal.
That's right. I was trying to. I think I may have stole it one time from Ken Bozek or something, because with his bro stuff on Twitter, I think I named it my Brobot. Before we sneak off, because I know we normally try to aim for about half an hour, 45 minutes, so we're at about half an hour. But it would be cool, John, if you can share. I think one of the most interesting things that to me is that, like you said, on any given day at the moment, we're like 300 to 500% the number of participants in the crypto space, right? So it would be cool to see some of those charts and some of the type of info people will get if they sign up on LunarCRUSH and what's interesting today. But I think just seeing the sort of not just sentiment grow, but the number of people participating the fact that there's 3 to 5x on every given day from a year ago participating in this space is mind-blowing metric.
So let's look, and you know what? I see someone in the feed is asking which coin to invest today. Well, without answering that specifically, let me show you what to look for also.
I think you have to share again on the, here we go.
Let me do that. I have my screen in there. Let me know when we're showing.
We're showing it.
All right, let me load this up. So if we're looking at like, in general, like which coin to invest in, I mean, what I like to do, if it's something I really care about, I'll go and I'll say, I'll set an alert on something. And that is one thing you can do. And so like I could say Filecoin, I want to be alerted on Telegram and SMS me. And I want to know when, let's go alt rank social volume's up at least 50%. Let's do that. And then I can configure that alert further if I want to. I could say, make it up like, I want it more like 100% or something. And let's update that preview. I can set these alerts. And so approximately I'll get 22 alerts a year. This is all free. User can go in and set this up. And I could even see setting this alert. Here's the performance. Every time it would have hit, that's that green little dot here. So I could see I would have profited $42,720 had I set this alert. And so you can go and set that up, add that alert. And now I've got an alert for Filecoin. That's pretty sweet.
Wow.
Holy shit. I didn't see that. I don't know if I hadn't set alerts up in the last couple weeks or if I just didn't pay attention when I did. But that particular metric of I would have made this much if I had this alert and traded on it is epic.
Wow.
There's a lot there. I almost hate calling them alerts. We're going to go very, very far with this because yeah, I mean, we know what signals beat the market and when, and it doesn't need to just be one signal. You could say when social volume's up and social engagement is also up and when alt rank is less than 10 or whatever. But I like the coins page. I like to filter this one by alt rank because it's so broad and it's like a competitive metric. And at any given time, it's like destroying what's going on in the market because of the social and market activity connected. So when someone asked, what coin should I invest in? I'd say constantly come to this page and constantly look at alt rank and set alerts for things that you really care about. And that's a really great start to answer that question because everyone wants to know that answer. So let's look at just number of social contributors. This is global data. Let's look at the last year. So, right. So this is going back to the original point of like, what exactly is going on with, if March is historically a bearish month, great. Crypto's 10 years, 11 years old. Come on. Like that's not enough data. It's like looking at the S&P for like, in the early 1900s or whatever it started. It's like for 10 years of data, it's semi-significant as a starting point, but we can't look at just this history of crypto and go like, yeah, this is what's going to happen next because it's been so small. And so when you look like this is actually a year ago. So on this day, a year ago, there were 63,331 unique individuals posting on social media that day. What that means is that's not the number of posts, it's the number of people, individual accounts.
So me posting 15 times that day makes no difference compared to one person posting once about Bitcoin or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So 63,000, that's like a stadium. That's the whole world. Like that's tiny. And a year ago, we thought crypto was big. And this number is accurate. So if we're looking at the fact that it was only 63,000 people.
Wait, I missed that. That was a year ago?
That was a year ago. And so when you look at this, and there's things like this was this, I think, was it this number? I think this was the halving.
Yeah, July 15th.
So like the halving hit 156,000 people. That includes all of the media talking about it with a social account. That includes everyone. And that was a big spike. And that really stood out. We're like, wow, that was crazy. I think we even sent you guys some infographics that day.
Yeah.
Because that was a big push. And I mean, relatively speaking, if you zoomed way into that part of the chart, that's a lot of activity. 156,000 people versus 63,000. That's huge.
That was that was a new all-time high, even over the 2017-18 price.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
It was pretty big. And then we get into, and right around where we were here, like a year ago, this was when the market was dumping. Remember that? I think Bitcoin was 3,800 something. So we've gone through this kind of push of like, okay, now the halving hits. I believe this was the is either this or this. There was like the Twitter hack. Remember that? And someone was doing like Bitcoin ransom, something like that. And the Kanye West and all these people got hacked. And then this year hit. And so, we were in December thinking, wow, this is still like things are looking bullish. I mean, remember December all the way 3 months ago? It seemed super, super bullish. We were like, yeah,
because the price was going up, adoption was going up, but nobody was talking about it yet because of Corona, because of the elections and everything going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the coronavirus and elections ate up crypto. Like people just backed away. Like they weren't talking about crypto. And I mean, people probably had, COVID, like they were just over like seeing COVID posts constantly. And so, and then here we comes. I mean, even this in January here, like January 2nd, 133,000. We're almost back to like the level of the halving. This is up a lot. And then we started to get into the end of January.
Wow.
And I mean, keep in mind, our collection has changed to zero during this period of time. Like this is consistent. And so like, then we get into, we had February 19th.
Wow.
740,000 people. And so maybe my number was wrong, like 63,000. And now we're up
to 10x.
Yeah. And so it depends on the day.
Yeah.
But
so it wasn't
look at this
5, it was 5 to 10.
Yeah, it depends on the month. And like if I change this to like a 3-year period, I mean a 3-month period, I should say, it would be a much higher increase. So like in fact, watch if I
what's that one spike? A huge one.
This one here?
Yeah.
February 19th, 740,000, 735,000. This was nothing specific. This is people coming in.
Wall Street bets and Elon tweeting maybe a little.
I mean, that I think you could say that drove a lot of attention to like crypto, and a lot of it, I guess you could say a lot of that resulted in Dogecoin. So maybe I should have said that. In fact, if I looked at top coins during this period of time, there you go. Dogecoin was number 2.
Yeah.
And there were days, and I think maybe you're right. It was those days that Dogecoin was actually higher than Bitcoin with social activity. And so I think we can thank Wall Street bets a lot because see here on the 3-month, we're 320% higher than we were the previous 3 months on a daily basis. So like, right now, even us sitting here at 391,000 people and in the 300s, and this has been a bearish little bit of time here. When we look at the volume of posts itself, in fact, let's also go back on that one to a year. It looks like that. And so the volume of posts, I mean, on this day here, 1.64 million, 1.4595 million, as impressive as that is, these are still small numbers. And so, when we talk about mainstream kind of adoption of crypto, when we get there, those numbers are going to be 1,000x these, a lot higher. So the trend is strong, really strong. And this is coming from a much broader community. And so I think one thing that I'm like really excited about, and we're going to do a lot more metrics around NFTs, is just how broad that is. It's funny. In the last few days, we just had a conversation with a major artist asking, how do I get involved in NFTs? Like where should I list my stuff? What should I do? How do I create rarity? How do I create a wallet? People are getting onboarded into crypto through NFTs, not through Bitcoin, not what we might consider DeFi. It's a whole new population coming in. So that's so exciting. And we had another friend yesterday that messaged that wants to build an NFT platform because they have IP rights to a bunch of songs and this and that. I don't have all the details, but I'm like, people that never ever talked about crypto ever are now getting into crypto because of NFTs.
Yeah.
So exciting. It's amazing.
Quick shout out. You should check out Cooper Turleys from Audius. He just put out a Twitter post explaining How Do NFTs Capture Value? You should check that out whenever you get a chance.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So to recap, before we sign off, obviously this space is growing at insane rates, but it's still just the beginning. So nobody feel like if you're watching something like this, you know, and you're just starting, that you're late to the game or something like that. It's easy to feel very, very discouraged if you happen to jump in, you know, maybe a couple days ago and today you're down, although today is back. But it's easy in the short term to feel that way when you're brand new. Remember to zoom out. And also, I always tell people to participate and play, and don't put in, you know, more money than you can lose, because I think the big gain here is that in a couple years, when this is mainstream, or hopefully sooner, whenever, you'll be first in line for those jobs. I mean, we just talked to somebody, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that was telling me that, it was Luke from Prime DAO. He had gotten into crypto, bear market happened. He was kind of, you know, it was what it was, and he was okay. But like, you know, he was just barely learned about the space and participated. Then he went to go meet with some bank in Curacao. And in the job description, or in the description, because he's from Curacao, he's a native. He went to go meet some bank, and in the description of the job interview or whatever it was, said, you know, it's a plus if you've heard about or know about crypto. And he was just like, I was the only person, right? Like, right? So you want to be that person, right? It's still early enough to be the person amongst your friends and family, amongst your community, that knows about this stuff. Even if you just scratch the surface, you're ahead of the game, and you're a part of the future economy and those future business models that John was talking about. You know, thanks, Gerald. That's all Adam. Always point the wrong direction. But yeah, so you know, if you are new to the space and you're looking to trade or learn and do all these things, go to LunarCRUSH.com. I think I have banners and stuff from old things. Here we go. LunarCRUSH.com. See, normally we have other stuff, but we're goofing around today. And LunarCRUSH didn't actually sponsor, but we used this for something. But we're gonna pretend title sponsor. That's it, LunarCRUSH. So go to LunarCRUSH.com, and obviously not a secret that I love LunarCRUSH. If you follow me on Twitter and all that stuff, we're investors in LunarCRUSH from Draper Goren Home, full disclosure and all that fun stuff. But John, thank you so much. Oh, I should mention, of course, go to drapergorenhome.com/events. We're doing a ton of events. Actually, we should update this now because Security Token Summit was yesterday. We've added a NFT Summit to the mix. So we're going to have a lot of fun over the next forever. So go to drapergorenhome.com.
Man, I can't wait for the next in-person NFT Summit. These are going to be so wild.
Think about this. I bought, because we know we're going to do all sorts of galleries and things like that, I bought the lobby of the LA Convention Center NFT on Superworld, so that if we have an in-person AR gallery for the LA Blockchain Summit for NFTs, we'll be able to use Superworld, and I own that real estate.
Wow.
I am so fascinated with that project. I want to have them on our own live stream sometime soon here.
I'll connect you with Rish, the CEO. He's an awesome dude. It's so much fun. I immediately bought Wildwood, you know, the Adam where we've met to go on some hikes. I bought my favorite spots at Wildwood on Superworld, because I'm just like, check this out. I gotta show you guys this really quick. This is really nerdy. But I saw some tweet post or some post on Facebook or something. This is a screenshot from Gunsmoke, and then that same spot today at Wildwood. So this is my real estate. Hold on, I'll turn up the brightness. This is my real estate on Superworld today versus when it was used in Gunsmoke. I don't know how many years ago that movie came out, right? That's the same spot.
Wow.
I own that land on Superworld. How cool is that?
That's cool. Wow.
So now you're gonna have to do 3 tiers from the wild, wild west to where it's at now to the super world.
Yeah, then I'm gonna put my body. So I've already decided I'm gonna try to create some kind of campaign where I put my body in AR like a cutout, so that people can come in and take selfies with me, like on the peak of Lizard Rock or something, which is one of the hiking trails there. And if you do that, you're gonna earn some kind of reward, like an NFT or something. So you'll physically have to go to my real estate in Super World that I own as the NFT, take a selfie, and then you'll earn some kind of NFT badge reward or something. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something fun. So maybe you'll have to like bring up LunarCRUSH on your phone and show me the latest, social metrics or something to prove that like that'll be the version of holding up the newspaper that you really were there at that date and time, right? We're gonna do that.
Very cool.
All right, guys. Thank you, Jon, for joining us. Jon, LunarCRUSH.com, at Jon Farjo, at LunarCRUSH. Do this. Follow LunarCRUSH and LunarCRUSH bot on Twitter, and then just tweet at the LunarCRUSH bot and your favorite token. Do that today if you're watching and listening. Tag me too. I'll send you one lucky person an NFT of something. I don't know what it is. It'll just be fun. But if you're paying attention, do that. It'll be really fun to see who does and who's watching and listening. All right, guys. Have an awesome time. Thanks, everyone who's watching.
See you later. Tune into Blockchain and Booze.
Yes. Blockchain and Booze every Adam. Go.
Tune into Blockchain and Booze.
Live streams. Those are awesome. All right, I'm actually now.
Yeah.